Hey, it's Tamika Chambers with Fulfill Your Divine Purpose. Have you ever allowed fear to come sit with you and tell you things like, who do you think you are? Or you didn't grow up in the rich neighborhood. You didn't, the things that you did, try to remind you of your past and the things you did. That try to say that you are what you did. That you don't have enough, that you can't do it, you're not talented enough, that what you want to do isn't the way to make a living. You might want to sew. Maybe you're real good at art and you think that it's just something I do. That I do believe that every life has a purpose, that we are given abilities, gifts, talents that are sown inside of us. We come with that. We come with those gifts. We come with those abilities and talents. And we are to use our experiences as an opportunity to reflect who we are, the truth. See, fear is believing in false information. I am going to fail. I am going to fall. You may have heard people say that. Your mother, your father, family members. Some of it may have been because they wanted to protect you. They didn't want you to be disappointed. They heard of other people falling when they got rich, wealthy, prosperous, and maybe they lost it all through bankruptcy. Maybe they lost it all because of their health. They got sick, and it's like, see, you can't go and do things. You can't have all this money and this wealth because you'll fall. Bad things will happen. But that fear planted in their mind, that perception planted in their mind. We don't know what other people did that caused them to lose it all. We hear stories, but we know that much of what we do has to do with the choices that we make. That are beyond that are the thoughts that we have. Beyond that are the beliefs that we have. And I do believe, I know we call it the law of attraction. There's the law of belief, the law of growth. There's so many laws that God even planted in our hearts and our minds. We have access to these laws. They are to help us to be prosperous, to have an abundant life, to discern and see when something is right for us or when it's not, to discern when we should let go of relationships, any type of relationship, associate relationship, a friend relationship, when we realize that people are not traveling in the same paths that we are, when we realize we have a vision in our minds of how we see our lives, and we know that life should not be so much of that struggling that you see other people doing. We know that, and one of the things my mother told me is just because others went through it or are going through it doesn't mean that you have to. And what that helped me to do is to realize that I have a life. She would tell us that we're in control. You are in control of your thoughts. That just because people are thinking a certain way doesn't mean that you have to. You know, the world can tell you that we have 1 million thoughts a minute or whatever the statistic is. But I believe and know that we can control our minds. We can purify our hearts so much and control our minds that we calm the storms that are in our minds. See, statistics are good. But when you allow your life to be controlled by statistics, that just because you have a diagnosis of diabetes and hypertension, or someone else had it and they had their legs cut off, amputation, arm cut off, that they had a stroke, doesn't mean that you have to. Fear can take over our minds, that it become weeds that spread throughout our bodies, and we attract the things that we fear the most. And then we say, see, I told you I was going to experience that. Was it that you knew, or was it that you brought it onto yourself, onto you to experience that because you had so much fear about what would happen? One thing that I understand is so important, and you see things that are happening in people's lives, that they rise, and then some of them are falling. Not everybody, but you'll often find out, because we don't know the whole story, that there were some thoughts that were taking place. There were some actions that they did. And if you look beyond oh, you're going to fall if you get too high. If you look beyond that, you'll see, let me learn from their experiences, what I thought as a child, that I wanted to be a student of life, to learn from my lessons, life lessons, not mistakes, because mistakes can seem like more of a horrible word, but to learn from the lessons that you have, and also to learn from others. There is much we can learn if we just take the blinders off, take the fears off, to pull those weeds out of our garden and say, I'm going to learn from what they did so I don't do the same thing. If they had negative thoughts, unhealthy negative thoughts, like, I was going to say a word, but if they had those thoughts, that maybe then I should master my mind so I don't have those thoughts. I should clean out my heart so I don't have ill will towards anyone. Because what you say to yourself, what you say about others will eventually come to you. There's a law of judgment that when we judge others, we bring that judgment onto ourselves. See, it's understanding, and what I say to you, I say to myself, it's understanding these laws that God has placed in us to have a prosperous life. That I didn't bring you here to harm you, but to prosper you, is to give you hope in the future. That we are here to have an abundant life in all realms. It ain't just being wealthy. We focus on that. We see the money. But what good is that wealth if you don't have the right mind? If your thinking is distorted? If you're betting all your money? If you're spending your money unwisely and not keeping up with it? What good is all that money when through your thoughts, through your beliefs that you don't deserve this, that you end up sabotaging yourself? But then we go and try to blame somebody else, and it's the person to blame, and even it's not to blame, but the person to look at is the very one you see in the mirror every morning. The one that you talk to yourself. If it isn't what you see, it's who you are, to make it clear that we have to look at our thoughts. We have to examine these thoughts that we're having as we're trying to express our gifts every day, express the God that is within us. That we have to look at what else are we expressing besides that. What negative thoughts am I giving out? What negative vibrations am I giving out? Because when we have faith and believe that we are here to be prosperous, we are here to have an abundant life in all realms, financially, socially, spiritually, mentally, to have our minds intact, to have clear vision, and to have that service heart, that we're here to serve others with our abilities, our gifts, and our talents, to be perfectly clear about who we really are. Because how we treat others, how we treat ourselves, come from what we believe about ourselves. And that's why there's no external thing that can bring you perfection. No diet, no exercise routine, no amount of money, no amount of friends, no job, no career. That if you don't know who you really are deep down inside, none of that really matters. Because whoever you believe that you are will show up in everything you do. So if you believe that you are worth less, if you believe that you are your past, if you have unhealed wounds that you have not let go, people that you feel that betrayed you, that projected their pain on you, whether it is a mother, father, sister, brother, grandfather, grandmother, whoever you believe hurt you, until you let that go, you will continue to hold on to things that can sabotage you. So when we talk about fulfilling your divine purpose, it's not just about the money, but it's about who you are in the inside. Because whatever you are on the inside will be reflected on the outside. You will see it. When we think about relationships, when we think about why somebody keep treating us this way, so often we want to blame others. But we need to look at, okay, what am I attracting? Because I know when I don't feel my best and when I'm feeling something, somebody may taunt that in front of my face. And that experiences are there to show you as a mirror of what you are projecting into the world. They are to show you, or even what is to come, what paths you are moving in direction, or even to show you that, have you really gotten over this? Do you still get bitter and angry about what someone did or said or didn't say? Are you going, I would tell the clients, nursing graduates, are you going into your tests believing that you don't deserve to be a nurse? Are you holding on to some event that someone said, you will never be a nurse? What kind of nurse is you? Are you? Is you? What kind of nurse are you to let this happen? So when we are going through things and not making traction, could it not be the right time? Could it be some things that you need to work out within yourself? Because God wants you to enjoy it when you are there. And you're not going to be perfect, but you're going to be where you need to be to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And continue in that mindset that you do deserve every good thing that your Creator that our Creator wants to give you. You deserve all of it, no matter where you are from, no matter the home life, no matter the parents, no matter what they did, no matter what they held from you, what they gave you, what they said, didn't say. Maybe they told you that I wish you weren't born. And I don't mean to step on anyone's toes. What it's about is healing from the inside out, because you don't have to be a statistic. Just because blood pressure problems exist in the Black community or the brown skin community doesn't mean that you need to have it. What can you do to reduce your blood pressure? You can drink water. You can go exercise, walking. You can help to think positive thoughts about yourself and not allow what others do to control your emotions and feelings. And you've heard of it, arthritis, resentment, and ill will. Things, even vision, not wanting to see the future, being afraid. How our eyes, our body, I would say, and it's like it, intellectually we can know stuff, but until we know it in our hearts, that what body can continue to run when you are storing up negative emotions and feelings, even like fear inside of it. That we are to master not only our minds, but also to master our bodies. That I believe as a girl, I was like, this can't be it. We're not here just to, have all these fantastic gifts and we can't even display it. We can't even do it because we're so in pain. We can't even think right. That can't be what life is all about. That there's more to it. And when you open your heart and you believe that I'm not here just to struggle with what people did to me or didn't do to me or said or didn't say, that's not it. I'm here to master my minds. My mind, you get one, but they say you subconscious mind. You're here to master your mind, purify your heart, embrace, nourish, and express the God within you. When we know that we're not alone, when we know that even our parents don't even get to choose if we're here or not, something wanted us here, something like those human qualities, along with a spiritual blueprint to make a wonderful being that is you, that is us, regardless of what color, what creed, what race, what religion, what culture you are. That God is expressing himself through you. And it's when we don't allow our experiences to define us or label us or make us into something that we're not. When we say, I'm going forward and I'm going to still see the innocence in myself, the purity in myself, the innocence in others. Because if you truly believe that God made us in his image, then the person you see on the street, is that not a person made in the image of God? Your father, is that not a person made in the image of God? Your mother, even my Father not being there with us, even things that were done to me, that doesn't mean they didn't have the God within them. They just forgot who they were. And so it is a challenging opportunity to go beyond your experiences, to master your mind, to dump out stuff that's not to your advantage. Because when we really believe that, we will say, I deserve better because of who I am. That I am made in the image of my Creator, that it resides within me, right? I said right, but I call it now, that it resides in me, this spirit, this infinite intelligence, that it resides in me and it resides in you and is seeking to express itself through you, just like any other thought. Fear will want to express itself through you. Rage express itself through you. We're hearing stories of it. So it's who do you choose? Because you can't serve two masters and fully be yourself. True self-expression. You have to, you're going to like one and you're going to hate the other one. And I don't think we want to hate our Creator. I think we want to love our Creator. And when we love it, love is the ultimate law of expression, true expression. So it's Monday. Next week is a holiday. I hope you enjoy your week. I probably won't be on next Monday, but Monday thereafter. And don't forget, I have Create a Generational Love Cycle podcast that I talk about the seeds we plant on Wednesday and healing from the inside out on Fridays. This week, I will not have an episode. I may not have the seeds we plant. I haven't decided. There are some things that I'm finding out, new things that are going to be happening over the next week. So as I've said, it's so important to be there for your family. And my mother told me, she said, when you are there for your family, and she said your kids, when you're there for your children, that God sees it and He will work things out for you. So when we're there for the people we love, God sees that. I was just looking at, say it right, Hero Academy. It's with my son. And we were looking at one of the shows, and he did it twice. Academia, Hero Academia. You probably know what it is. I'll put it in. But he was fighting one of the episodes that we last saw. He was actually, there was this monster that they had to fight, a villain. And one of the girls that was nice to him and actually kept him from falling, she was hurt. And so he had this villain in front of him, and then he had this girl. And he doesn't have any powers. He risked his life to save that girl. That it wasn't, they had to get points. And it wasn't about points for him. It became, and it's not about being a martyr. It's not about just giving up your whole life. But it's about choosing in the moment what's important for you. What's important to you. And I believe what's important to us is family. God is about family. And that's why you see so many different colors, so many different cultures, and all the stuff that's in the world. Because God is about family. And He wants us to get along. He wants us to love one another. He wants us to pray for one another. Pray for things that are going on now in the White House. Pray for the leaders all around the world, because they need that. They need people that can help remind them of their light. And we're not here to get angry at them, but we are here to pray for them, because you don't want to keep feeding into the collective consciousness of anger. You want to feed into the collective consciousness of love. And love forgives. And I know it's hard to say, especially when you see so much going on. But when I believe that through love, there are things that can be done in a positive way. Because the more angry I get, the more I want to hurt others. And the more that vibration and energy you give off, that you can end up hurting other people or doing things that you didn't mean to do, or having accidents because of that anger fogging your mind and you not seeing the truth of a situation. That if people really knew, and this is what I got as a child, if they really knew who they were, then they wouldn't do it. So if you remember, some people don't know who they are. They have forgotten their true nature. And they have allowed things to sow and grow within them, germinate and grow, till they become anger, they become rage, they become vengeance, they become resentment. You don't have to do anything to anybody. There are laws in the world, and even if you don't see it now, know that nobody escapes justice. Know that. My mom told me God is faithful and he's just and he's always there. And so if you truly believe that God is faithful, that he is just, that he loves you and wants the best for you, then part of that is shaping our minds in such a way that we don't have these negative emotions and weeds growing inside of us. That just because you forgive others don't mean you need to be all in their face, making calls, talking to them all the time, because you have your boundaries and you know what you choose to be around and what you choose not to be around. Protect your energy, but know that you are here to serve. You are here to do the work, to experience life in its fullest, and to express the gifts and abilities within you. That our experiences are not here to sabotage us. They're here to show us where we are in our spiritual evolving and aligning our human genes, our human component with our spiritual component. Where are we? Do we still get angry about somebody? Do we want to take vengeance on them? Do we call them outside their name? Are we doing those things? Are we blessing them? Are we praying for them? I mean, truly from the heart, and wish no ill will. As a matter of fact, we want them to be healed, and we want exactly what we want for ourselves, we want for them. Because maybe then that's our way of saying or praying that they won't do somebody else like that. Because until they recognize who they are, until they realize, until they own it, what's stopping them from doing something that they did to you? The same thing. We have to be here. We have to pray. We have to believe. We have to have faith. We have to control our thoughts. And we have to be who we are, at the core of who we are. So I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourself. You have what it takes. You don't have to be like somebody else. You can let go. It's not weak. There's true strength, true power is not allowing others to master you, including emotions and feelings like anger and resentment. That's true power. Isn't that power the power that you want to have? Talk to you later. Take care of yourself. Happy Monday. You don't have to be a statistic. You don't have to have heart disease. Even if you do have it, it doesn't have to get worse. Don't believe every single thing that you hear about statistics, and don't believe that you have to be a statistic. I'll talk to you soon.